The date is June 3, 1942. The Libyan desert bakes under a relentless sun. 9 P-40B Tomahawk fighters from the South African Air Force's 5th Squadron slice through the scorching air, racing towards a besieged French fort. Their mission is one of mercy and fury. Aboard these aircraft are 3 of South Africa's best, the aces Cecil Golding, Pare, and Louis Botha. As the fort looms on the horizon, the scene of horror unfolds. German Stukas fall from the sky like birds of prey, their infamous Jericho trumpets screaming a psalm of death that chills the soul. Below, the earth erupts in flashes of fire and smoke as the French defenders are pummeled. A cold, hard fury ignites in the hearts of the South African pilots. This is no longer a mission, it is a hunt for vengeance. They strike with the fury of a desert storm. Most pilots veer towards the protective screen of Bf-109, but Cecil Golding's gaze locks onto a low-flying Stuka. He pushes his Tomahawk into a dive, the wind screaming in his wires. His guns erupt, stitching the sky with .50 caliber tracers. The Stuka pilot jinks and swerves desperately, a frantic moth trying to escape the flame. But it is a futile dance. Golding's more agile fighter walks its fire across the German bomber, tearing chunks from its wings and fuselage, until it is little more than a crippled bird. It staggers, loses altitude, and finally plows into the desert floor in a final, violent geyser of sand and flame. Across the chaotic sky, the tide is turning into a slaughter for the Germans. Inside the lead Stuka, the rear gunner scans the heavens in mounting terror. He sees the swarm of Allied fighters picking off his comrades one by one. His voice cracks over the intercom, a desperate warning to his pilot. "They got the fighters. They're coming for us next." The pilot's voice, thick with panic, screams over the radio. "Anyone nearby? We need backup immediately. We won't make it." A few kilometers away, the legendary ace Hans-Joachim Marseille and his wingman are on a routine patrol in their Bf-109s. The desperate plea crackles through their headsets. Without a second's hesitation, they shove their throttles to the firewall, their engines roaring as they race towards the chaos. They arrive to a scene of carnage. Allied fighters are everywhere, swarming the vulnerable Stukas. Marseille's eyes, cool and calculating, immediately assess the threat. Below him, he spots the closest Stuka, its tail gunner desperately trading fire with a persistent Tomahawk. Marseille dives, a hawk swooping on an unsuspecting rabbit. He is still at range, but his confidence is absolute. His thumb presses the trigger. A short, precise burst of 20 cannon fire arcs across the blue. His aim is impeccable. A shell smashes directly into the Tomahawk's engine. Inside the Stuka, the crew cheers as their pursuer breaks away, a thick, black stream of oil trailing behind it like a funeral shroud. The wounded Tomahawk, its power fading, becomes a glider, its fate sealed as it descends inexorably towards the sands below. Cecil Golding watches in horror as his comrade's plane disappears into a cloud of dust. A fresh wave of rage washes over him. He banks his aircraft sharply, his eyes searching for the perpetrator, and finds Marseille. The two aces turn towards each other, a deadly joust in the vast arena of the sky. They stare each other down, a silent challenge passing between them. Then both triggers are held down. Tracers stream from both aircraft, weaving a deadly tapestry around them. Marseille's Bf-109 dances through the storm of .50 caliber bullets, each one miraculously missing its mark. Golding is not so fortunate. A 20 shell strikes his Tomahawk square in the nose. Shrapnel explodes into the cockpit, shearing his control stick and mangling his left leg. The German is victorious. Golding's world dissolves into searing pain and stark reality. He has lost pitch and roll control. He is too low to bail out. Gritting his teeth against the agony, his mind races for a solution. He discovers he can still steer left and right using the rudder with his good leg, though it causes a dangerous roll. Remembering his aircraft's design, he begins to carefully extend the flaps independently, counteracting the roll with the delicate touch of a surgeon. He coaxes the dying aircraft lower, cutting the throttle to bleed off speed for a landing he knows will be brutal. His heart hammers against his ribs as the desert floor rushes up to meet him. He skims the ground, deploying more flaps to keep the nose up, shedding every possible ounce of speed before the inevitable impact. Cecil Golding awakens, dazed and confused but miraculously alive. He shoves back the canopy and is stunned to see his friend, the very pilot he saw go down, now running towards his wrecked plane. "Are you okay, man?" his friend shouts. "They got my leg," Golding groans. "Come on, let's get you out." As he's pulled from the wreckage, Golding's thought. Turn back to the fight. "I am down, Robin Louis. Make sure you get the blighter." In the air, Robin Pare hears the message. His eyes lock onto Marseille's Bf-109 in the distance. With his wingman, he sets a course to intercept. Marseille is running low on 20 ammunition, but his will to fight is undiminished. As the two Tomahawks converge on him, he turns to face them head-on. Pare opens fire. Marseille responds. On this day, fortune favors the German. A volley of 20 shells punches through the cockpit of Pare's Tomahawk. His firing stops abruptly. That silence tells Marseille everything he needs to know. Pare's aircraft drifts away, then plummets, exploding into a fireball upon impact. On the ground, Golding and his rescuer, Morrison, are making their painful trek towards the fort when they spot a third wreck smoldering in the distance, the Stuka Golding had shot down. "Let's go check on him," one of them says. They hobble towards the German wreck as flames begin to lick from the fuselage. Golding, hampered by his injury, urges Morrison ahead. The captain sprints the final distance and peers into the shattered cockpit. Inside, the German pilot is slumped over the controls, weak but alive. A grim, hard look passes over Morrison's face. "Ha ha, no chance," he mutters, turning away. Back in the air, Louis Botha, the last of the squadron's 3 aces, sees Marseille hounding another of his friends. With a surge of adrenaline, he charges to the rescue. Botha catches the German ace mid-chase, his guns blazing as he rips through the Bf-109's airframe with his .50 caliber machine guns. Marseille is forced to break off, allowing the badly damaged Tomahawk to escape. Marseille's own aircraft now sports several new holes, but it is still flyable. He turns his wrath upon this new challenger. The 2 aces lock into a deadly ballet, twisting and turning through every maneuver they know. They are perfectly matched, each catching glimpses of the other, each firing and scoring minor hits, but neither can land a decisive blow. It is a battle of wit, skill, and endurance. Slowly, inexorably, Marseille begins to gain the upper hand. Botha struggles to keep up. The German is flying with an otherworldly instinct, finding firing solutions where none should exist. Bit by bit, he grinds down the Tomahawk. Botha feels his aircraft's performance fading, the opportunities to attack vanishing, the enemy's fire becoming harder to evade. In a final, devastating pass, Marseille's machine guns tear through the P-40. A single bullet punches through a coolant line. A thick, white stream of vapor erupts from the engine. The fight is over. Botha knows he must run. He turns his crippled plane for home. Marseille spots the fleeing Tomahawk and yearns to give chase, but his keen eyes catch 3 more P-40Bs approaching in the distance. A glance at his ammunition counter confirms his fears. He is nearly empty. Reluctantly, he banks away, turning for home. Louis Botha tries desperately to nurse his overheating plane back to base, but the temperature gauge climbs relentlessly. He has no choice. He must ditch. The bitter realization hits him. A single German pilot has defeated all 3 of their aces in one day. "Damn German! Bloody hell!" he curses, before guiding his dying aircraft to a rough but survivable landing in the desert. All 3 aces had been bested. Only 2 would escape with their lives. Hans-Joachim Marseille, however, returned to his base to a hero's welcome, adding 6 more victories to his tally, bringing his total to an astounding 75. A comrade jokes, "Leave some for me next time." Marseille's laughter, "Ha ha ha ha," is cut short by his own playful retort, "Nee." Today, we are launching our new Aces collection, where you can own merchandise featuring the iconic design elements of these legendary aircraft. Check them out before they fly out of the store. If you haven't yet, Please subscribe to our channel and watch more of our videos. Thank you for watching.